So today we're just going to talk about the duo lane. The duo lane will be on the purple side of the map. So easy way to remember if you're playing ADC, you just go and look at your map. The red buff will be near the mid lane, the purple buff will be near the ADC lane, and then the blue buff will be near the solo lane. So for those of you who are new, who get a little bit confused on what side of the map to go to, you can pretty much just look at the colors to indicate what side of the map you need to go to. So pretty much, you can play different types of things in the ADC role once you get a little bit more advanced. But right here, I'm playing Rye ADC. We're ahead. I'm 6-0 just because I'm playing around and sniping people, and the other people don't really know too much of what they're doing. So basically, when you start off the carry lane, you want to start off at your purple buff. So you start at your purple buff. You and your supporters start at your purple buff, and then pretty much you'll try to clear the purple buff. So there are two different starts to start the game. You can clear the purple buff and then go to lane, or you can clear the purple buff, go to the big harpy, and then go to lane. So if you choose to clear the purple buff and the big harpy, there's a very good chance that the other team will just go straight to lane, and you just have to be careful of the fact that you'll be fighting them with an entire minion wave behind you. So you just want to kind of let the minion wave go into the tower, push back a little bit, and you guys should hit level 2, and you'll be able to fight them for the next wave. So pretty much after you push that next wave, you'll have two abilities. So you'll have two abilities and your support will have two abilities, and the other team will still have one because they should be level 1. So this will be a good opportunity for you to fight them while you have more abilities than they do. So you just want to make sure you're boxing that second wave and fighting them and making sure that you get your lane pressure going. So pretty much you just want to be careful of the fact that on the second wave, the jungler may be coming over to gank. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to your mid lane just to see what's going on in the mid lane, because there's a very good chance that your jungler is coming across. The jungler is coming across. Sometimes you'll get an enemy missing middle from your mid lane. A lot of the times you really won't get that enemy missing middle from the mid laner. So you just want to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on in the map and not really depending on your teammates to like ping for you and let you know who's coming to your side of the map. Sometimes your jungler will make the rotation over, sometimes they won't. So you just have to pay attention to your jungler's power spikes, and that comes with a little bit of understanding later on. Some gods have a better early game, such as Ravana, Achilles, Hercules. Any type of warrior generally has a really good early game because warriors have like a lot of power early. So they may be willing to make that rotation over to the dual lane to gank. Other gods such as like Ao Kuang and gods who need a couple items to get online generally don't want to fight into other dual lanes early. Sometimes they won't, so you just have to. So it's kind of just understanding what gods do well in the early game and what gods do well in the late game. So that comes with time, and that comes with just like understanding the gods. And I'll make some future videos. We'll just go over individual gods, just who does really well in the early game, who does well in the late game, and who's really a mid game god. So pretty much as the ADC, you want to just ward your jungle and be careful because a lot of times like the junglers do gank the dual lane a lot. So it pretty much just comes down to who's standing at whose tower line. So if you're pushed all the way up and the jungler ganks, there's a lot of times that the mid laner or the jungle will come over just to kill you because you're being overly aggressive standing on a person's tower line, and like there's pretty much no way for you to escape once like 2 or 3 people pop up behind you. So there's just positional awareness that comes into the position. You just want to pay attention to what's going on around you, and whether your mid laner has a lead or if your mid laners are early game or late game god. If your mid laners are early game god, then it's much easier for them to clear a wave, rotate either left or right to your lane, and then apply pressure to other people. So generally, as a support, when I'm playing support, I generally like to leave around level 4 or level 5. It kind of just depends on how the lane's going. And then also it comes into understanding who has good early wave clear. So a lot of like newer players like to play Izanami because Izanami you can literally just walk up, do your 2, and then just auto attack the wave, and a wave gets cleared really easily. When you get a little bit more intermediate and advanced, like you don't really use Izanami too much because Izanami has to step up to the wave in order to clear it. So a lot of people like to take advantage of that and kill the person who's playing Izanami. So as the support, if you see someone attempting to play Izanami, you kind of want to save your CC for that person. So when they step into the wave, they'll attempt to hit the wave. You want to make them hit you so they take minion aggro. You'll CC them, and then you and your ADC will be able to burst them down. Gods who do this really well, they're like Zing 10, Capri. You can also do it with Hercules, but I wouldn't suggest like picking Hercules support because you gotta really just run at the team, and there's not a ton of stuff you can do if you run out of mana. Like Hercules can be, and warriors in general can be a lot more mana consuming, and you have to micromanage a lot more than you do with like your regular supports. So I would definitely suggest playing a regular support, just getting used to the position, jumping into conquest, clearing a couple waves, just learning a little bit, and then learning a little bit about the role. A rule of thumb is always rotate with the other support. If you see the other support going left, you want to go left with them. If you see the other support going right, you want to go right with them. If there's 4 people ganking your solo laner and the Gold Fury is up, just call attack the Gold Fury. You guys can get a free Gold Fury off of it. Your solo laner may be a little bit angry, but at the end of the day, you guys are doing objectives, and you guys are getting more gold off of like them killing one person. So for support, you can either peel or you can frontline. So you just want to make sure you're communicating with your solo laner. If you plan on frontlining, picking a frontline god like warriors and stuff like that, just communicate with your solo laner. Say, hey, can you peel for the backline? If they refuse to peel for your backline, then your backline kind of just gets ran at for free. So you can also pick a backline support, such as Kepri is also another backline support. Zing 10 can be a backline support. Sylvanas is more of a frontline support. So it's just understanding your role in the team and just trying to perform that role best as possible. If no one's peeling for your backline, there's a very good chance that your backline gets ran at. As you can see here, we don't really have a support who's peeling for us. So we're kind of just getting ran at by everyone. When there's no backline support, then everyone gets ran at. It's kind of complicated, and your team gets wiped. So having a good support who's able to understand this is actually pretty crucial to winning team fights and winning the game. So just in general, hop into Conquest. If you can get 5 people together to play with you, get 5 people to play with you. There's also looking for groups. You could put it looking for group, newer player, looking for other players to play with. If you choose to play alone, you just have to understand that people will get angry and people will ping. So it's a learning process. I'll come out with some more videos just to get you guys a little bit more information on positions. This is basically just the basics of the duo lane. We'll go into more advanced stuff in the next video. We'll go over gods in like some of the upcoming videos so you know who's early game, who's late game, and who's mid game and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys in the next video.